The Illuminati are about to shake up the MCU's multiverse in a big way. The super secretive team of superheroes have formed in the comics for a bunch of reasons, and it's going to be exciting seeing how the MCU adapts the team to live action. And since it's pretty much confirmed Professor X will be part of the group for Multiverse of Madness, can we expect all other members to make an appearance? I hope so. But out of all of them, how would you rank them in terms of power? And be warned, there are more members than the OG6. Who are they and how do they stack up against each other? Let's find out right now. So yes, I thought that today's list could include all members of the Illuminati because I think that's fair when ranking power, don't you think? Anyways, coming in at the bottom is everyone's favorite blue mutant that's not Mystique, or Nightcrawler. Or Apocalypse, I guess? Okay, there's a lot of blue mutants out there, but I'm talking about the best one, Hank McCoy, aka Beast. And I'm not saying that Beast isn't powerful or that he's weak or anything like that. There are just so many other more powerful people in the group. Beast joined the Illuminati after Professor X's demise, and I think he's a pretty worthy successor. He's a perfect mixture of brain and brawn, which always comes in handy in just about any group. In live action, we've seen him as the faithful second in command to Charles Xavier, and it would be cool if we could see that dynamic again on the big screen. Now, in the comics, the reveal that Captain Britain is part of the Illuminati isn't a huge plot point, but it's still confirmed that yes, he's part of the group at one point, and therefore he needs to be on this list. But how powerful is Captain Britain? Well, he has all the standard superhero abilities like super strength, stamina, durability, flight, etc., but there are sometimes some caveats to that. In early iterations, Captain Britain needed to draw his powers from the Amulet of Right, but then later iterations made it so that his powers came naturally and his suit just amplified them. But then even later on it was changed to that he was more powerful the more confident he was. So kinda similar to the Hulk and his anger issues. So you just have to hope Captain Britain is really feeling confident that day and knows it, or else he could fizzle out. And given the complex history with Captain Britain and the Captain Britain Corps, which is an interdimensional organization who guard the Omniverse, that sorta actually makes Captain Britain's inclusion on the live action version of the Illuminati makes sense, right? Could we see him sitting on that high council besides Professor X? Possibly played by someone like Henry Cavill? Maybe. Or you know what's more likely? We know that Captain Carter has been teased in the promotional images of Multiverse of Madness, so I wouldn't be surprised if she takes Captain Britain's spot on the team. Yes, Captain America has been part of the Illuminati, and having Cap be part of a secretive group who sometimes isn't afraid to make tough choices for the greater good goes about as well as you'd expect. Captain America has been on so many super teams over the years, but he's never afraid to express his opinions or try to do what he thinks is right. And he's normally pretty powerful. Yeah, he's strong and fast and all that, but he's also an incredible tactician as well as someone pure of soul. In fact, yes, I would say normally Captain America is one of the lesser powerful figures on the Illuminati, but in a fun twist, being part of the Illuminati had made Cap become the most powerful he's ever been. That's a little confusing, so let me explain. The Illuminati were dealing with a planet-sized problem, literally, as a second Earth had popped up and everyone was trying to figure out what to do. Well, the Illuminati turned to the Infinity Gauntlet, and Cap put on the glove to try to stop the incoming universe from colliding with their own, because, you know, that's bad. And even though Cap failed, it's still pretty cool he got to wield the Infinity Gauntlet. But then his tenure with the Illuminati was short-lived, as the next solution was to destroy the other universe. And guess which normally pretty righteous Star-Spangled Banner-draped super soldier wasn't cool with that? Yep, Cap objected, and the Illuminati responded by wiping his memories completely and making him forget that the Illuminati ever existed and that he was a part of it. I know that power generally is ranked by how hard you can hit something, but when you're as smart as Amadeus Cho, then I think brain power definitely overcomes straight muscle. And boy, let me tell you, Amadeus is one smart cookie. You'll find references all over his comic appearances that generally paint him as one of the top 10 smartest people on Earth and possibly even higher than that. And he's not just smart either, but rather he's analytical. Amadeus can recognize patterns and can accurately predict almost any outcome imaginable. That's a whole other level of knowledge that makes him one of the most dangerous people in existence. And okay, fine, if you wanted some brawn with your brain, then also know that Amadeus became the Hulk after Bruce Banner. And like the others, Amadeus isn't really a big part of the Illuminati, but I know that if I was creating a super secret team of heroes, Amadeus might be pretty high on my call list. Yes, this section is called Yellowjacket, but it's not the Yellowjacket you might be thinking of. Yes, the MCU has made us think that Yellowjacket is an enemy, but actually Hank Pym donned the moniker of Yellowjacket after being Ant-Man. Well, actually, he became Giant Man after Ant-Man, then Goliath after that, but then he became Yellowjacket. And then after that, I guess he was Wasp for a bit. Man, dude likes to change his name. But anyway, Hank Pym was a member of the Illuminati, and his ability to travel through time and across the multiverse definitely came in handy to the group. On a power level scale, I've always said that someone with the Ant-Man abilities immediately becomes one of the most powerful heroes ever, and the no-nonsense Hank Pym of the comics shows the reason for that. This does get me thinking though. I don't think it would be too out of character to see a Hank Pym variant on the Illuminati Council, do you? I mean, it would be more wild to see a super serious Scott Lang variant, am I right? But I don't know, from what we've seen in the MCU, Hank Pym in the Yellowjacket suit doesn't exactly yield great results. Medusa is an Inhuman who we haven't seen in live action unless of course you count the Inhumans television show, but let's be honest, nobody does. So let's just say we've never seen Medusa before. She's the wife of Black Bolt, and after Black Bolt's demise, she takes his spot on the Illuminati and as the leader of the Inhumans. Being the leader of the Inhumans definitely bumps her up a few places, and her superpowers are no laughing matter either. With a name like Medusa, if you know your Greek history, you can kind of piece together what she can do. She has a luscious head of red hair that's super strong and powerful and can control her hair when needed. It's basically like a head of whips. She can grab things, restrain you, defend yourself, etc. And while that may not seem like the most powerful power ever, just think of how many times you woke up with a bad hair day and imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have to deal with that, right? Especially if you're a superhero who constantly has helmet hair. Yeah, that'd be nice. Namor is a character that we're all excited to see introduced in the MCU because his presence has big implications. It's been probably hard for the MCU to bring in Namor and Atlantis because the DCEU is currently hoarding all the Atlantis love with Aquaman. But I think the Submariner is vital for the MCU and the Illuminati, where he's a founding member. When the Illuminati was first introduced, it was described by the creators as each member representing something really special for the Marvel Universe, with Namor obviously ruling over the Seven Seas, but also representing the anti-hero mindset. And it's true, Namor has dabbled with heroics and villainy over the years, and I would love to see that character brought to life in a faithful way. But power levels, how is he? Again, did I mention King of Atlantis and all the Seven Seas? That's major. On top of that, he's super strong, fast, great reflexes, and can even fly thanks to special wings on his ankles. Now, doesn't that seem unfair? If you're an expert in water, that should mean you should stink at flying, but nope, Namor rocks it all. He also has probably the most famous Illuminati moment ever when he was the sole dissenter for voting Hulk off planet, which of course led to Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. Sometimes true power comes from those who know to do the right thing. Having Black Panther on the Illuminati means there's someone with a strong moral compass, but his history with the team is tricky. Most people will know the important 6 members of the group, but originally Tony Stark wanted to include Black Panther as the 7th member. The first meeting was actually in Wakanda, and while there, Tony suggested they form a type of superhero government. Though I guess the Illuminati technically did their job here, and they all told Tony what a horrible idea this was. T'Challa even refused to join the Illuminati because he predicted disaster. But then later, when the multiversal war was imminent, it was Black Panther who reformed the group. Does the connection between Black Panther being the one to form the group when a multiverse problem presents itself hint that a version of T'Challa could be on this live-action version of the Illuminati? Who knows? And yes, we know Black Panther is powerful. Besides his considerable fighting skills, he's also a king, and that always shines through his personality. Remember in What If when it was said that if T'Challa was the one who was abducted instead of Peter Quill, then T'Challa would have saved the universe just by talking to Thanos? Wild. Reed Richards is the type of character you could build a franchise around. Now that Tony Stark and Captain America are gone in the MCU, the franchise is going to need new faces to center on, and Reed Richards definitely fits that bill easily. He's one of the most brilliant minds in all the universe, and it's pretty crazy that his ability to stretch himself into any shape or size thanks to a superpower is usually playing second fiddle to the fact that his genius and his intellect are superior to almost everyone else. The guy is a smarty pants is what I'm saying, and his logical mind is different from someone like Tony, who lets things like ego and flair get in the way of things sometimes. Also, I would argue he's more empathetic than someone like Tony Stark and can recognize good ideas from bad ideas. But on a power level, how strong is Mr. Fantastic? Well, I think 3 things make him stand slightly above the others so far. His genius intellect is not to be underestimated, his powers make him a scary, almost unbeatable superhero, and his leadership ability has been proven time and time again. If there was anyone who I would be most assured to see sitting next to Professor X on the Illuminati in the Multiverse of Madness, it would be Reed Richards. Black Bolt is a character that on paper is one of the most powerful heroes ever, but you can never actually see him in action that much. It's a definite problem when it's established that your voice is powerful enough to level cities, countries, or planets just by speaking, because then you have to find ways to neuter that character. And in fact, although this power is dangerous, in the comics, Black Bolt has really gotten the short end of the stick when it comes to the Illuminati. He's always the member who is taken out first. He's been kidnapped a lot, he's been impersonated by a Skrull, and he's been under mind control. He was even once manipulated into detonating a huge bomb. It's no surprise that after his demise, his wife stepped up to take his place. But again, while a lot of that shows a weakness, it's all because you can't have Black Bolt express his true power without potentially destroying everything, which definitely makes it hard to rank Black Bolt any lower or higher than this on this list. He'd actually be a pretty easy character to have in the Multiverse of Madness because he can be in a mask and doesn't have to speak. Yes, the Hulk was a member of the Illuminati, and that's kind of crazy given their history. One of the Illuminati's most famous moments comes when they decided to send Hulk off-planet because he was a danger to the world. This kickstarted what is probably the most famous Hulk story with Planet Hulk, and then of course, Hulk swore revenge on the Illuminati and came to Earth to smash everything in sight in World War Hulk. You would think that little issue would stop Hulk from ever joining the secret team, but nope. Tony Stark brought Bruce Banner on board, and honestly, it was a good idea. Bruce Banner is a great ally to have on any team given his intelligence, but it's his big green counterpart that gets major points for power. The Hulk is a rampaging fury monster who only gets stronger the angrier he gets. His strength knows no limits, and he can just keep leveling up and getting stronger as time goes on. I mean, I'm just saying, there's a reason the Illuminati wanted to send him off planet in the first place. If you're a character that's so powerful and dangerous that everyone's solution is, yeah, let's just trick him and send him somewhere else, then you're probably pretty powerful. And hey, in Hulk's case, if you can't beat your enemy, join him. Iron Man can literally invent anything. It's what ranks him so high on this list, and while he's very passionate about ideas that sometimes turn out horribly, it can't be denied he's one of Earth's greatest defenders. And you know what? I respect that about him. If I was wrong as much as he's been in the past, I would consider that maybe my process of thinking needs to change, but nope, he keeps powering through. And yes, he may not have any superpowers like all the other super smart people on this list, but the tech he builds more than makes up for it. I mean, the easiest example to cite is in the MCU, as we watched him go from normal iron suits all the way to nanotech that could form around his body and make anything he wanted just by thinking it. That's basically magic, right? And in the comics, it's even more insane looking at some of the weapons or tech he's put together. That's why I'm very comfortable placing Tony Stark so high on this list. If you give Tony any sort of time at all, he could probably make or invent something spectacular that could solve any problem. And another thing to consider is if he's on the Illuminati, will it be a good version of Tony or a superior Iron Man adaptation that's a little evil? If that's the case, then Iron Man truly is a dangerous and powerful individual. Professor X was the one who was teased in the Multiverse of Madness trailer, and that's incredibly exciting. Why? Because Professor X is one of the most powerful superheroes ever. He's an extremely talented telepath that can manipulate and control the minds of others with relative ease. Yes, he may never be in a position where he has to fist fight someone, but he doesn't really have to. Just by using his thoughts, he can mentally manipulate and control whoever he's fighting, and basically automatically win that scuffle. You try sneaking up on him, or fighting him, or trying to stop him, and you tell me how that goes. Obviously, the trailer is only a tease, but doesn't it look like Professor X might be the leader of this multiversal Illuminati? And if that's the case, then I wouldn't be too upset. A powerful telepath automatically turns the tides of any fight, and if this multiversal war is going to be as big as I think it is, we need people like Professor X fighting for our side. Yeah, I think Doctor Strange is the most powerful Illuminati member. To be the Sorcerer Supreme and to have complete mastery over the mystic elements trumps almost everything else. Like, everyone on this list is beholden to just one type of ability, but I think when magic is involved at the level that Strange uses it for, it's almost unstoppable. And the fact that Doctor Strange is a founding member of the Illuminati in the comics is an interesting development for the Multiverse of Madness. Here's the big question. When Strange is presented to the Illuminati, will our version of Strange join by the end of the movie, or will he meet a variant of himself who's on the panel already? You know, thanks to toy merchandise, it's been revealed that the Baron Mordo we've seen in the trailers is actually Master Mordo, who's probably a variant. And if that's the case, why couldn't he be on the council? But all of that is to say that any Sorcerer Supreme has major advantages to just about anyone else, and his immense knowledge of all things magic make Doctor Strange the most powerful Illuminati member there is. Who are some MCU heroes who would do well on a multiversal Illuminati? Like, if Loki ever becomes a complete good guy, then maybe him? Captain Marvel, perhaps? I'd add Groot and Rocket Raccoon just for the chaos factor. What do you think?